Hello everyone, I'm Zethrix.
And I'm Savazar. And we played Dinkum for 100 days, and here's what happened.
Welcome to day 57. Also, the first day of winter. I started by going back over to the tree orchard so I could finally finish the expansion. Just look at all my land. That is a lot of trees. We just officially doubled the size of our tree orchard. And I was hunting for an opal, so I was trying to destroy as many rocks as I could. Of course, all while I was metal detecting. I could never get enough treasure. I checked on my chickens to see if they were hiding any eggs in their coops. I smashed the shiny stones I got from the rocks today, and we're not lucky, not a single opal. I finished a quest for Milburn, and he gave me some nice pink sneakers, and I gave them to Savazar right away. I finished a quest for Fletch. I just learned that when you finish quests, you get permit points. So it was definitely time to start taking advantage of this. Mainly because we needed almost 9,000 permit points to get some of the extra special things that we were looking for. We went in the deep mines over 10 times. We fed our animals over 50 times. We buried over 250 fruit. We found over 50 shells. And we smashed over 1,000 rocks. We also survived poison for the first time. And we moved over 5,000 dirt. And finally unlocked over 50 doors. That put us at about 2,000 permit points. We still have a long ways to go. But that wraps up day 57. We are in the end game now, so permit points were super important. And on day 58, I started the day off by checking my mail. I collected all my money. I gave John a bug. And he taught me how to make tiki torches. I made sure to collect my animals for the day. These bush devils always gave me a hard time. I learned that I can sell these jams for over 3,000 dink. And now it was time to sell my emeralds. I sold one for 55,000, 77,000, 48,000, 60,000, and I had to steal the last one from Savazar. But I sold it for 83,000. We officially hit over 2 million dinks. We're rich. And we got 1,000 permit points for hitting 2 million dinks. And we've sold over 20 rubies. I finally got the level 2 vehicle license from Fletch. And that meant the level 3 vehicle license was 7,200 permits. I told you we're going to need a lot. I went over to Franklin to commission our first vehicle. It was time to start riding in style. I sold all our discs for a total of 500,000 dinks. And I had to make some flower beds for Savazar. So after that, I went out metal detecting. I still needed lots of metal to finish our farm expansion. But I think we're finally getting close. Here's a good look at all the metal we have right now. Almost 90 springs. That's still not enough. I made more billy can kits. This was going to help with all the extra fruit I'd be getting in the future. The production area was starting to get a little tight on space. Since I had so many springs and gears, I made more sprinklers. But now it was time for bed, and that wraps up day 58. And we earned a total of 323,000 dink. And on day 59, Melvin was visiting. We started the day off by making more sprinklers. We needed as many as we could get for our farm. I made sure to keep up with all my brewing, especially now since I've seen that each of these jams is worth over 3,000 dink. I think we're going to need more kegs soon, because these just aren't cutting it. I finished a quest for Melvin, and then Melvin taught me how to make a marble pedestal. I went to John to see how much a water brew sells for, and made a big discovery by learning they sell for over 6,000. It was time to head in the mines with Savazar, so I made sure she had everything she needed. I can't have Savazar dying on me all the time. We mainly were in the mines to keep getting more ores and find more treasure rooms. Since I made so many sprinklers, I completely ran out of ore. And in our first treasure room, we had the usual goodies. I made sure not to leave a single thing behind. And then it wasn't long before we found our second treasure room. And this one had our first dog collar and a saddle. I can't wait to see what these do. And then I went so far, I hit the edge of the map. Whoops. In our third treasure room, we found even more goodies, but I was actually running out of space this time. And in our fourth treasure room, it was the same thing. I was just happy to be getting paint and chests. And it wasn't long before it was too late and we had to head home. But take a look at everything we found today. That is a lot of treasure. Now that I had a lot more ore, it was time to get to smelting. And I was still hunting for that opal. I made sure to add everything to my special chest. And that is a wrap on day 59. That is a lot of ore. I started off day 60 by checking the mail. I got my cool motorcycle from Franklin, and I collected all my money. I continued to keep smelting all my ores. And I know I told you the production area was getting tight on space, so it was time to rearrange a little bit. I was going to move all of these chests out of the middle and make more room for kegs and billy can kits. I did not have nearly as many kegs as I needed. So I just spent most of the day taking things out of old chests and putting them in their new chests. And of course, I made sure to organize everything as I went. Everything had a certain place. Even all these crusty old shells. There we go, that's much better. I'm going to come back here eventually and make a ton of kegs. I'm just glad to have more room now. And now it was time to have some fun. Look at this cool motorcycle. Now I can zoom around this map and nobody can catch me. I can even do donuts if I want. I spent most of the day driving around on my new bike. I really, really loved it. But it honestly just made me want the helicopter that much more. And while I was driving around, I heard a whistle and I couldn't believe who I found. I haven't seen this guy since like the first 10 days. And boy was I excited. I took a quick look at everything that I wanted to make to see what I needed. I was happy to find out that I had just about everything I needed. So I went back home to get all the materials. Good thing I keep everything so organized. I also had to buy a flashlight from John. And I made sure to head back over to Ted with my new motorcycle. I tried to hit some ramps on the way. And when I got back to Ted, I realized I did not have any money. And it was already late in the day, so I was literally screwed. Fortunately, Savazar was going to be my sugar mama for the day. She gave me just enough dink to get the bat zapper and the battle shovel. It's not everything I wanted, but I was glad I got something. And I couldn't wait to try out this thing. I tried to show Savazar, but she was not interested. She just wanted to ride around on the motorcycle. I made sure to finish catching all the animals for the day. I completed a quest for Franklin. And that just about wraps up day 60. We had the usual levels with 0 dink this time. And on day 61, our boy Erwin was finally visiting. I started the day off by collecting my money and paying Savazar back. I made more coops for the farm. Savazar was in the middle of redecorating everything and she was doing such a good job. After seeing what she did with the bandstand, I couldn't wait to see what she was going to do with this farm. I commissioned another quarry from Franklin. I actually wanted as many of these as I could get. I finished a quest for Erwin. I still had no idea why he didn't want to move in with us. I was messing around with John and wanted to see how much all my metal was worth. And while I was there, he wanted to buy some water brews from me. After messing around with John, I had to collect all my animals for the day. And I tested out my new shovel. I couldn't believe how powerful this thing was. I'm not sure who I liked more, Ted or Franklin. I sold a fossil to John for 97,000 dink. And then we spent the rest of day 61 metal detecting. I think I finally almost had enough. And you haven't been seeing a lot of Savazar lately, but she has been busy decorating that farm. We'll get to spend a little bit more time with her later. On day 62, I had big plans. I was going to spend the entire day in the mines. And I was going to the deep mines today, so I made sure to bring all my best food. And I was actually going by myself. Savazar was struggling in the mines, so we just left her out of it today. It wasn't long before I found my first treasure room, and to save time, any emeralds that I found, I was just going to destroy them right away. We were after one thing and one thing only. Our quest was to find an opal. But of course we were going to collect any goodies we could find along the way. These little larvae always gave me the hardest time, but this shovel did make quick work of them. And would you look at that? We finally got our 5th and final opal that we needed. And we were finding treasure chest after treasure chest. But I was excited to finally have my opal so that way I could make the dirt printer. And this was going to help me finally finish the expansion on our farm. And with this badass shovel and all the good food I was eating, I was basically one-hitting every monster in here. But I got a little carried away and broke my shovel. It's okay, I had a good time with it while it lasted. And I had to finish off all these larvae with my axe. It's okay, we've been through this before. We can handle it. In our last 2 treasure rooms, we found a ton of blueprints, lots of paint, some statues, an iron axe, and an iron spear. And with that, it was time to call it a day. That was the most successful level 2 mining trip we have had so far. And I loved every second of it. I went straight to Franklin's to try to make my dirt printer, but it was too late and he was closed. We learned how to make the ironwood bench, the storage barrel, and the hardwood flag post. I rearranged our statues a little bit and I put the doggo right in front of our house. I put these 2 bush devil statues in front of the museum. I thought this looked pretty cool. And I put our alligator over in the garden by John's place. I collected all our money. And I collected our new quarry. I placed it down next to the other one. And I had to finish collecting all of our animals. My chores just never ended. I used my saddle on this emu. I literally could not believe I was riding an emu. This was freaking awesome. They always say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. These emus have killed me in the past, and I'm glad we could be friends for now. I'm sure they don't appreciate me riding around on their back that much though. I rode the emu all the way home and I plan on keeping him in our farm. And would you frickin' believe it? We literally got another opal from our shiny stones. We went weeks without seeing one, and now we got 2 in the same day. Alright everyone, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you in episode 16 where we finally expand our farm.